I'm gonna tell you how to know what other people think of your videos, and we're starting right now. What is going on? My name is Nick. Welcome to another video. If this is your first time here and you want to learn how to grow your channel, make videos, and all types of other YouTube related stuff, start now by subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. When it comes to YouTube, there is so much to learn. You have to learn to edit your videos, make good thumbnails, read your analytics, market your content, get your videos to show up when people are looking for them, market yourself to brands if you want to go down that route. You got to learn how to make money from this stuff. There's just so much to learn. And because there's so much stuff to learn, if you have a life outside of YouTube, it can be really overwhelming because there is so much information that you got to take in. On top of that, you have people like me saying, hey, you got to make sure that you have these settings right. You got to make sure that you're planning out your content. You got to make sure that you're not making these specific mistakes. But what you need to do is focus on what's most important, which is the content. The content on YouTube is what is the most important, and the content on YouTube trumps everything else. As a quick disclaimer, I do want to tell you that if you look into the information that I'm getting ready to share you and you identify that your content is not something that is good right now statistically, in that situation, don't be discouraged by it. Just look at it in terms of, okay, well now I know, so because I know that now, I need to figure out how I can fix it and make better content so that people will enjoy my videos more. As another disclaimer, it's also really important that you know that even if your channel is doing well and you're putting out content and people are responding to it and things like that, sometimes you just put out videos that underperform. But if you are able to get people to click on your titles and your thumbnails and they come into your videos, but your videos are not getting a good response, that needs to be your #1 priority right now, getting people to respond to your content better. And look, if you don't have a lot of time to work on YouTube, that's where you really need to hyper focus on making sure that your content itself is good, because without good content, your branding doesn't matter. How you're trying to engage doesn't matter. How you're trying to get people to subscribe and all the little tricks that I show you in terms of increasing the conversions and all that stuff doesn't matter if people are not responding to your content. So, how do you know if your videos are good? Not in your opinion, but based on all of the people that are watching your content. It's actually really easy. YouTube gives us everything that we need to know. Keep in mind, there are some details about this that you need to know, and I'll go into those right here in just a second. But what you need to do is go into your analytics on your computer or on your phone using the YT Studio app. Just in case you are not familiar with the YT Studio app, it is free and YouTube makes it. Next, once you are in your analytics or you are in the app, then what you want to do is you want to go to your videos page, and then you want to click into whatever video that you want to see is good or not. From there, on a phone, you would tap View More, or if you're on a computer, you would go to the Analytics tab, which is over in the left sidebar. For both, once you are in these areas, if you scroll down, you're going to see something called your audience retention. Now, you want to look at the total watch time, and you want to look at the percentage viewed, and here's how you should think of both. The total watch time is the amount of time on average that you're accumulating from each viewer that comes in and watches your video. As a side note, a video does not have to be collecting a ton of watch time in order to be considered a good video and get promoted by YouTube. So keep that in mind. But you do need to be able to pull your viewers through your video for a reasonable amount of time. Now, both of these, if they are high, can help you get discovered on YouTube, because ultimately what YouTube is looking for is they are looking for how much time people spend on your videos for every time YouTube shows your thumbnail to somebody. Now, of course, there are other factors that play into this as well, but the more watch time that you are generating, the more you're increasing the likelihood of YouTube showing your content to other people somewhere on the platform. So that particular part in a nutshell is basically the more watch time that you can get for every time YouTube shows it, which is called an impression, by the way. The more watch time you can get for every time they show it, the more YouTube is likely to promote it on the platform. Again, just to make sure that I emphasize this enough, it's not the only thing that matters, but it is one of the most important. Now let's get into percentage viewed. When it comes to percentage viewed, this is also a quality indicator. If you have a 10-minute video and people are watching for 5 minutes, yes, you're gaining 5 minutes of watch time, but if people are leaving halfway through, then that's 50% of the video that people are not into. Now, depending on how much is left at that 50% and how much that additional 50% keeps watching is, of course, going to make a difference as well. That's why you hear people who make similar content to me talk about the complete rate of a video. Basically what that means is how many people who start your video are watching the entire thing all the way to the end or pretty close to the end before you send them into another video or before they pick something else on the page to watch. And the reason that we talk about this is because the more people that complete the video, the higher quality your video is because you're able to pull people all the way through to the end of the video. Now, with all of that said, Another way that you can check the quality of your video is in that same graph. If you actually click into it, you can't see this on a mobile, but you can see this on desktop computers, is if you actually click into it, you're gonna have the option to choose from a dropdown. You're gonna have the option to pick relative audience retention instead of absolute audience retention. The difference between the two different types of retention is the absolute audience retention is second per second where people are leaving your video, or exactly how people are responding in each individual second of your video. So you can use that to identify, hey, people are leaving my video in this particular part, so because of that, I need to figure out why they're leaving so I can try to keep people from leaving if that seems to happen on a pattern throughout my video content. Relative audience retention, on the other hand, basically compares your video against videos of similar length across the platform. So in that situation, if your relative audience retention is high or above average or even average, then that tells you that you are keeping up the pace with the other videos on the platform. And if you're not getting the results that you're after yet, maybe you just need to put out more content and build that library out more so you can start having more traffic coming in. If it's low, then what that means is that you're not competing as well against the other videos on the platform, which means that you're probably gonna have a more difficult time getting the ball rolling, so to speak, so you need to also work on raising that up as well. Now, back to audience retention or absolute audience retention. So with that, the really cool thing about it is, like I was saying before, how you can identify where people leave your videos. Now, if you are finding that people are leaving your videos quickly, I'm gonna give you some things that you should look for. And this also applies to you, even if you are getting good retention on your videos, just some things that you can keep an eye out for that you can pull people through your video even longer if you can identify some of these things and correct them. The very first is, how much of a percentage drop do you get when your intro plays if you have an intro? In some cases, depending on the content, you won't see much of a drop at all. In other cases, you might see 25, 35, 45, even 50% of a loss just while you're playing your intro. If you see a considerable drop in retention when your logo plays, what you need to consider is you need to say, okay, what's more important to me, keeping people watching longer or having this intro in my video? Another thing to keep an eye out for is if you see a drop at the end of your video. So what can happen sometimes is people will use what's called stop words or end words. And basically what that means is it's in something that the audience identifies that tells them that the video is over. So in tutorial content, for example, you might say, and that's how you XYZ, and you continue talking. And since you told them what they actually came into the video for, you can often see a dip right there when you basically identified that your video was complete. If you see a drop at the very end of your video when your end screen elements pop up, in that situation, that's normal because people are either going and watching another video because they got that indicator that the video is finished, or they're actually clicking into those end screens also, which would also take them out of your video. So in that situation, it's normal, but in that situation, there are other things that you can do. So if you notice that your end screen is 20 seconds long, but pretty much everybody's gone by the 10 seconds worth of your end screens, then you can start shortening your end screens, or you can do things like continuing to talk in your end screen to where you're holding their attention for just a little bit longer. Now, something to look out for in the beginning of your video is if when your video opens, you notice that there's just a drop right when the video opens, and then it levels out down there towards the bottom and then kind of goes out a little bit, and then the numbers disappear or the graph disappears. In that situation, what that means is you're not grabbing their attention when the video opens. Maybe you have a long intro there and everybody's just leaving during that intro. Maybe you are promising something in the thumbnail, and then when they click onto the video, then they're not getting what they expected when they clicked on the video visually or audibly. Maybe when they click on the video, they see that it's a low quality video, or maybe the audio is bad or something like that, and that can cause people to leave very, very quickly. The way around this is to experiment with different hooks and teasers and different ways to open your videos so that you can grab as many people's attention as possible when your videos are first starting, because if you can grab their attention there, then there's a really good chance that you'll be able to keep them watching for a longer period of time, and that graph will end up going down slower instead of just dropping drastically right when your video first opens up. Another thing that you want to look for is while you are looking at that graph, if you're noticing that your graph goes like this and then you see big drops like that, what you need to do is you need to see what happens in those parts of your video, because if people are leaving in those parts, you need to identify why. And you can look at all of your videos and start looking for patterns of where people leave in my videos and why do I think they're leaving my videos at that point, and then start experimenting with different ways that you think you might be able to keep them watching. What some of you are going to see when you're looking at your retention is you're going to see where you have the graph, and then you're going to see these spikes in your retention. What that means is that people are rewinding and they're actually looking at those parts again or listening to those parts again to see what happened in that video or to maybe better understand what happened in that video. And if you see dips to where your graph is going and then you see a dip and then it comes back up and levels out on that end, you might look at that and think, I wonder what's happening there. That is an indicator that people are actually skipping that part of the video. So they're watching here and then en masse, a lot of people are skipping that part and then they're basically picking it back up there. So they might be scanning over the thumbnail and basically seeing whenever you get to whatever it is that they want to look at or whatever, but they're skipping that part of the video and going straight to the part that they want to see. But inside of the Creator Studio on a computer, YouTube actually gives you, if you go over to the very right-hand side of your audience retention graph, they give you a little question mark. And if you click on that question mark, they actually show you a diagram of what those retention reports mean when you see different things like that in your videos. So make sure that you check that out if you have any questions at all. But if you pay attention to that graph, it's gonna help you make your videos a lot better. And the better your videos are, the more YouTube is going to help put those videos in front of people that are the most likely to watch them. Now, when you get all this together, I'm sure you're going to be working on trying to get more views and trying to get more subscribers and all that stuff. I actually have a video that I'll link to right here. You can watch that right now on how to get more views on YouTube step by step. So go ahead and click that right now. Also, remember to subscribe if you haven't. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.